Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into some of the most insane and horrifying punishments from ancient history. Stick around to find out which one of these punishments I think is the absolute worst. Now let's get into the details of each punishment. First up, we're heading to ancient Persia for a punishment called scaphism. Imagine this. They'd take the condemned, strip them naked, and trap them between two small boats, bound so they couldn't move. Then they'd force-feed the victim milk and honey. The honey would attract every single insect in a 5-mile radius. I'm talking flies, ants, wasps, you name it, all swarming onto this poor soul, drawn by the sweet, sweet smell of honey and other things. They'd leave the victim out in the hot sun, in a stagnant swamp for days, sometimes even weeks. The insects would slowly devour them alive, bit by bit. Next, we're taking a trip to ancient Greece, home to some seriously messed up punishments. Enter the brazen bull. Picture a giant, hollow bull, made entirely of bronze. They'd shove the victim inside, seal it shut, and then light a fire beneath it. As the victim burned and screamed, their cries would echo through the bull's nostrils, sounding like the bellows of an enraged bull. It was a spectacle of both torture and twisted entertainment. This next punishment, flaying, wasn't unique to one culture. It's exactly what it sounds like, skinning someone alive. They'd use all sorts of tools for this gruesome act, knives, shells, even pieces of broken glass. Imagine the agony as they slowly peeled away your skin, inch by excruciating inch. Flaying was typically reserved for the worst offenders, traitors, rebels, enemies of the state. It was a way to make an example of someone, to instill fear in anyone who dared defy the powers that be. Now, let's talk about crucifixion. This punishment, made infamous by the Romans, is one of the most well-known on this list. First, they'd strip the condemned naked and nail or tie their hands to a wooden cross. Then, they'd hoist the cross upright, leaving the victim suspended in the most agonizing position imaginable. They couldn't catch their breath, couldn't move, couldn't escape the relentless agony. Death would come slowly, usually from exhaustion, asphyxiation, or shock. Finally, we arrive at ancient China and the punishment known as Ling Chi, or death by 1,000 cuts. This method was all about maximizing pain and suffering. The executioner would use a variety of knives ranging in size and sharpness. They'd meticulously slice off pieces of the condemned's flesh, bit by bit, starting with the extremities. This could go on for hours, even days, depending on the severity of the crime and the skill of the executioner. It was a slow, agonizing, and utterly barbaric way to die. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you found this video as mind-blowing as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more crazy content. Let me know in the comments which punishment you thought was the most brutal. It makes you appreciate how far we've come and how lucky most of us are to live in a time where these kinds of things are just a dark part of history. See you in the next one.